What's good, YouTube? It's Imen. I'm back, and I'm finally here to tell you guys the next paranormal story time. This one might actually creep you guys out because when it was happening at the time that it occurred, I was freaked out, and it wasn't even happening to me. Okay, so this story takes place about a few years back. I want to say maybe 6 to 7 years ago. And around this time, my cousin, she was residing with us here at my house. There was something going on where her mother at the time had moved back to Egypt, or she was trying to. So she ended up coming back and ended up staying with us. Now, around this time, there was so much weirdness going on at my house. So I'm not quite sure if my house is haunted or if the people that come and stay at the house are the ones that are haunted. So I plan on making that video later on in the future explaining why I think my house is haunted, but until then, man, hold on. No. So anyways, but back then she was going through, okay, and let me give you guys some backstory. So if you watched the my relative was hexed video, the one that I made, and I was talking about, well, one of my relatives, I told you guys how she had that whole experience. Just watch that video and then you'll get what I mean. But okay, so that woman then had a child, and that child became my cousin, right? So my cousin, around this time, she was having issues with my, well, I guess you guys know she's my aunt now, so with my aunt at the time. And knowing what we know about the aunt kind of makes sense, right? Do you guys get where I'm going with this? Like, okay, so I think that the issues that was going on between her and her daughter reflected in the paranormal activity that you seen throughout the house while she was here. Now they're in a good place. Now they're fantastic. They're great with one another. They're back to their normal selves. But I'm talking about like 7 years ago, 7 to 8 years ago, which is a good amount of time, I know. But around this time, she had went out and she was hanging out with some friends that day, I remember. And basically I was watching over her for her senior year. So she was kind of my responsibility that year since her mom was out of town. Hey, leave it. Mia, Zena, leave it. Oh yeah, okay. Leave it. Okay. What was I saying? The dogs made me lose my train of thought. Oh, so she was my responsibility that year, right? So I was making sure that she was taken care of. I was paying for all of her expenses for senior year. And so I was almost a mother figure for her in that moment. And so when she went out with her friends, she was out in, like, I believe Alameda or Oakland, which is about like 30 to 45 minutes from where I'm located at. And all I remember that day was her giving me a call. And in this call, point is that I was making by letting you guys know that I was in a motherly position is the way she gave me a call. So she would always call me whenever she was in trouble during this year. You know what? Back then she was always getting into some trouble. Now I think about it. Now she's married with kids, so. But I mean, it's so crazy to see how people change and transform right before your eyes. But back then, yeah, it was always something. And that day I got a call. She was talking about, Iman, hurry, you have to come down here. I used to always get these calls. You have to come down here. You gotta help me. Something's going on. And I'm like, what is going on? What's happening? And she's like, I was just at the bank and I was trying to deposit money or take money or something or the other. I don't know if it was the bank specifically either. I don't remember where she said she was at, but she was somewhere on the streets of Alameda or Oakland. And she was explaining to me that this woman, this old, wrinkly, weird, strange woman, stopped her on the street and started to tell her all about herself. She began to tell her about her hopes, her dreams. She was telling her that, she knows that she wants certain things and she knows how she can help her get it. And she's talking about her mom, and she's talking about just weird ass details that no stranger on the street would know about a person, about an individual. Now, that would freak me the hell out, just that alone. But then this woman reached... Oh, okay. The bird wants a solo. You're done? Okay. Dude. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, that wasn't the strangest thing that occurred. So then, soon after that, she reached out her hand and she kept trying to touch my cousin, right? And think to yourself, like, who in their right mind would want to touch a random stranger on the street? It was just bizarre behavior, right? So my cousin didn't allow her to touch her. She kept moving away and she kept telling her, like, stay away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. Go away. I don't know you. You don't know me. Totally how you should act in that scenario, because I'm going to tell you exactly what that scenario was. So in a previous paranormal story time, I believe I explained to you guys, I don't know which one, so just go watch them all, but I believe I explained to you guys what jinns are, what are their capabilities, and all of that stuff, right? So some of them can fly, some of them can shapeshift. My bad, I don't know why I'm lagging. Some of them can shapeshift and make themselves look like a human being in front of you. So as you're having a conversation with, quote unquote, a human being, it could very well be the devil himself or a demon in disguise as a human. Okay? So that's what I think this whole scenario was, is that she ran into a jinn on the street who was a shapeshifter, and this jinn started to tell her all of these little details about herself that he could get, because jinns don't have all the information, but they can get some information because they're eavesdroppers, but they can never give you the whole picture. So that's why when you go to psychics or anybody playing with those little spirits and creatures and such, anybody who calls themselves a witch alone, oh girl, you better watch out for that, because they got demons helping them. Demons sitting all around them, eating with them, literally eating with them. That's why there's a superstition where, I don't know if it's a superstition or if it's like fact from somewhere. Somebody let me know in the comments down below, but where you're required to eat with your right hand, not your left, because when you eat with your left hand, the devil's eating with you. So, I don't know. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But what I think is that she ran into a shapeshifter on the street. if he had approached any other, or she, because, you know, jinns, they do have genders, if she or he was able to then approach anybody else and convince them, like, interest them, intrigue them, reel them in with those little bits of information, which is what psychics do, right? You walk in, they give you just a little bit or just enough for you to bite the hook and sink your teeth into it, and then at that point they have you. You're just going to eat anything out of their hands, anything that they tell you, you're just going to believe, or you want to believe it, which is the first step of believing something, is the want to, right? So, but that wasn't the case with my cousin. My cousin, she's never been into that kind of stuff, right? Never looked for it, never wanted it, never invited it in or anything like that. But keep in mind, her mother has that quote-unquote hex. So sometimes that can trickle down to your family members. And that's what I was thinking. But I'm thinking this now, not at the time when she gave me a call. I thought she was just losing her mind. Did I? I think it was half and half. I was telling her, like, yo, that could have just been a jinn. But I think I was joking at the time. Like, oh no, girl. I don't know. What are you supposed to tell a person in that scenario? So, anyways, by the time she gave me a call and she got off the phone, she turns around and the woman disappeared. Like, was not there. Could not be found anywhere. You know what is crazy? What if my cousin was really just standing on the street, just yelling at an invisible person? Like, she thinks she saw this lady and had this whole conversation, but yet from an ongoer, just looking, walking by, they're like, what the hell is wrong with that girl? Why is she screaming at the air? Maybe, I don't know. But definitely creepy stuff. But notice also that my cousin did not believe the woman. She didn't invite the woman. She didn't let the woman touch her. Remember the first paranormal story time I told you guys, where I believe I told you guys about how one of my relatives, how she was it? Did I tell you guys who it was? Oh my god, this is why I can't do anonymous stuff. I can't keep track of my stuff. Okay. In one of my paranormal story times, I had told you guys about the grandmother of the scenario, right? Where she was a little girl, 3 years old, she fell, and the jinn reached out to help her up, and she took his hand. Remember how I was telling you guys that? Well, keep in mind that the same lady on the street was trying to reach out to my cousin. And what did she do? She refused it. She was like, no, I don't know you. And that's exactly how you should be. You should never, like, let people creep. If it's weird, if it gives you a red flag, just go with it. Go with your gut. Believe me. But isn't that a trip? What do you guys think? Do you guys believe you've ever had a conversation with the devil in disguise? Sometimes I feel like I've had. Sometimes, like, I have been put in scenarios where I think to myself, like, that couldn't have been real. Hey! Leave it, leave it, leave it. It's just a bird. Come here. Hey! Come here. Leave it. Come here. Come here. Come here. Good girl. Leave it. It's just a bird. Leave it. Hey, hey! Leave it. Good girl. Good girls, you know. Leave it. Leave it. Let's see. What are you doing? Leave it. Good girls. Zena! You're always the troublemaker. No. Leave it. Good girl. Leave it. Don't come over here giving me kisses. You're such a kiss up. You're such a kiss up. Okay, go away. Please, I love you. No, not over there. Go away that way. Hey, Zena. 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 Hey. It's like you're in a trance. Leave it. Huh? Good girls. I mean, girl. Good girl. Okay. What was I saying? Leave it. Leave it. Good girl. Okay. My bad, you guys. No, it's because they do that all night, too. So if they ever see a squirrel, they start doing this scratching noise on the fence, and I just absolutely hate it. So if I'm out here with them in the backyard just hanging out, making videos, then I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to correct them on it right then and there so they just get used to it. Because dogs are so smart. You don't have to hit them or do anything mean towards them, strong arm them. All they have to do is just trust you, and they'll be loyal. As long as you get them to understand, they can understand. What was I fucking freaking talking about? Oh yeah. So just be careful who you're having a conversation with, because at any moment in time, at any moment of the day, you never know who or what you're talking to. Just keep that in mind. That's the story time that I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed it, then subscribe, because I do have other paranormal story times that are going to be rolling out. All of my paranormal story times are true stories, usually within my own family. So, yeah, no cap over here. Okay, now and always, remember, stay kind, even when it seems so hard to do. But stay kind, spread love, and spread knowledge. And I will see you guys all next time. All right, bye.